Greetings and welcome to another Just Talk. Oh yes, we're back with our weekly channel news and analytics show. With a little bit of this and a little bit of that thrown in. Probably there'll be some wizard chat a bit later on. But first, let's do the 5-minute roundup of the week. And we've got a bit more time with each video this time because, there were only 3 videos this week, which is well below what I would like to achieve. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. Look, I'm going to talk about that a bit more in the Wizard Chat section later on, but this is to focus on the videos themselves. Now, Monday there was no video. Tuesday there was, of course, the Just Talk, which was delayed from the Sunday, and then Wednesday was the first proper video of the week, and it was more medieval engineering survival building, Wizard in the Woods, which was a lot of fun. I do like a bit of Wizard in the Woods. I do like a bit of survival building. Of course, this episode was a massive pain because there were lots of bugs, there were lots of issues, there were things that I had to cut out. I eventually managed to get it down to something that I was happy with, but despite the fact that I've been trying to edit less, this was not one in which that was a success. Unfortunately, there was big chunks taken out of it. It's an early access game. This is just par for the course to a certain extent. With early access games, you have to accept that there will be bugs. Normally, I'd actually leave them in because they could be quite amusing. But the way that it happened, the stuff that was going on, made it kind of it didn't make for good content. So it all got stripped out. But nonetheless, at least we moved it forward. There will be more survival building. There'll be more Wizard in the Woods. Thursday, it was the second of my 2-part foray into Better Late Than Dead. An interesting little survival game, came out on Steam Early Access. I grabbed it. I was hoping at the time for another Rake-like event. Never really worked out like that. I suspect that was in no small part because I was kind of late to the party. I was a day or so later than I was with Rake. It never really picked up that much momentum. It wasn't bad. The first part didn't do too badly. The second part hasn't done too badly either, although nothing particularly stellar. An interesting little game. There's a lot of promise there, but it's a very saturated market at the moment. There is a lot of survival games, especially survival games based on islands. When you compare it to the competition, Stranded Deep is starting to pick up its development again, which is a much prettier game. It's a game with although you don't have the same level of content with sort of like bears and things like that to fight. To be fair, the bears, which of course the mystery man did encounter, they're not perhaps the most fantastically well implemented as yet in Better Late Than Dead. So I think there are better examples of that in the marketplace at the moment, albeit at a considerably higher price. But it is probably one to keep an eye on if you're interested in survival games. And now that I've got it, I will certainly be keeping an eye on the development, and there may well be more videos in Better Late Than Dead in the future. No episode on Friday, again, sadly, due to ongoing problems recording Rune. I also started messing around with some other things. I'll talk about that more in Wizard Chat. But anyway, there was no video on Friday. So we move on to Saturday, and something that came out a little bit out of the left field. Mercenary Kings, a game that I picked up on the Humble Bundle this week. And you know what? I kind of I needed something that I could record and put up quite quickly, and Mercenary Kings was something that looked like it might tick the boxes. And you know what? I had a lot of fun in this. I had a lot of fun doing the silly voices. It was a bit more OTT than my usual videos. There was a lot of me shouting. I think I might have been venting some of the frustrations from the week as well into that game, and it served that mightily well. It's done okay, I suppose, considering it was only out yesterday. It's too early really to say. It's the first time I've done a kind of a call to action, if you like, which is what they call it, where you specifically ask people or remind people to click the like button. It's something that I think I'm going to start doing a little bit more of. It's a tricky one, but something that Rune shows is just how much easier it is to get sort of a successful video when you get people actually clicking the like button. Now, whether that was regular channel viewers or whether it was new people and whether it was part of a snowball effect, I'm not sure, but at any rate, it's something that I'd like to encourage more of. In Mercenary Kings, I kind of put it in character at the end. I'd like to do a bit more of that sort of thing. I really like this video. I had fun making it. I think it's a fun video. What can I say? Okay, so that was the roundup of the week. Now it's time for Wizard Chat. And this week's Wizard Chat is all about trials and tribulations. Primarily, this week, the trial/tribulation was in the form of hard drive failure. Yes, that's right. My wonderful, beautiful new hard drive went and didn't quite fail on me, but it certainly was doing its best. I was getting various issues. It became apparent the hard drive was struggling. Check disks started throwing up bad sectors. I started getting corrupted files. I was really concerned that I was going to lose, something that I was working on. I'm pretty sure that a part of the reason why I was getting bugs and issues occurring in Medieval Engineers when I was recording it was because the hard drive was in the process of failing. Fortunately, that is now replaced and everything is back up and running smoothly. At least I hope so. I hope we don't have any further problems like that. Of course, you can never tell with technology. But it seems to be doing fine just now. Of course, there were some other issues last week, and in general, it's the summer, there's lots of things demanding my time. We've had real problems maintaining the schedule recently, and it's not something that I'm happy about. I'm going to continue tweaking around with the schedule, continue tweaking around with the content style, the amount of editing that I do, and that's just going to be an ongoing process. So there you go. It's part of the trials and tribulations of trying to run a YouTube channel. Hence the connection back to the Wizard Chat subject title thing. Speaking of which, next week is also going to be a bit of a weird week. It's going to be a week of Cities Skylines, and that is going to basically take the form of more or less unedited me playing Cities Skylines chunks of 15 odd minutes being uploaded. And the reason for that is, first of all, to see how it does, and to see how it does when compared to the more heavily edited stuff. And also, it is because I just don't have the time to do any uploading or to do any recording, next week. Next week, I'm basically away for half the week. The first half of the week, I'm not going to be able to do any recording. I might be able to do a little bit of editing. I guess we'll see how much I actually manage to get done on that. But because of all the issues that I had last week, I wasn't able to build up any kind of footage ahead of time to be able to cover next week. So basically, I was left with the choice of either doing next to nothing next week, maybe releasing 1 or 2 heavily edited videos, or trying, which is something that I've been pondering for a while, trying this kind of less edited style of content. Now, don't worry, this isn't going to be something that takes over the channel. Also, it's just all City Skylines because it was easier to do a big batch recording of that than to try and do various other bits and pieces. And it's one of the easier programs to record. It's one of the easier games that I've currently got running to record, and one of the ones that is most that lends itself most to unedited play. I could try and do it in Medieval Engineers, but there's no way I could do a build unedited, and even the survival stuff, some of the earlier survival stuff was unedited, and there were some comments about it, and I think it can be done. I think it can be done if you maintain a good enough narrative, but it's certainly, there isn't that much going on, whereas at least with City Skylines, stuff is constantly being added and done and stuff like that, so at least more or less constantly. So there you go. That's what's going to happen next week. I'll be interested to hear your feedback on that as and when you see it. I quite like the idea of doing these kind of weekly focus things from time to time as well, like a KSP week, maybe at some point with 3 or 4 or 5 KSP videos. That's going to take a lot more time to do, obviously. But I like that. I like that kind of, focusing on a game, getting a lot of content out for a game in a short period of time. And so yeah, there you go. We're going to see where we're at when I come back from this little break. Obviously, hopefully my batteries will be recharged a little bit, and I will be raring to go on my return on lots of fresh new content. And everything's going to be on the table. Everything is going to be on the table. I'm going to be looking at the games that I'm doing, the series that we're running, the various different shows like Weird Wednesdays and Retro Fridays, and all of that stuff, and really having a think about how I can freshen the channel up, re-energize sort of myself and my approach to it, and get it all done in the time that I am able to realistically commit to the channel, which of course is important as well, so that the schedule is actually realistic and manageable both for me and also able to provide you guys, the viewers, with hopefully quality content on a regular and somewhat predictable basis. That's the hope anyway. Alright, so that was Wizard Chat this week. All right, we're just going to run very, very quickly through the analytics this week. Headline numbers: subscribers 1,949 subscribers. Views have not been particularly great this week: 44, 65, 87, 52. Likes, interestingly, for the last 3 videos, it's pretty much 10%. 4 likes, 44 views. 6 likes, 65 views. 8 likes, 87 views. And the wild card here, the 200th upload, 52 views, but 11 likes. So yeah, I mean, interestingly, I don't know if this was, I don't know what if people want to venture an opinion on my Mercenary Kings video. I quite enjoyed it, but obviously I was making it and putting on silly voices, and I know that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's the first time I've done one of these call to actions, I think YouTube calls them, specifically saying, mentioning, reminding, if you will, people to press the like button if they like the video. It was right at the very end. I did it in the character of Tasker the General, which I quite enjoyed. Obviously, it hasn't had an effect, or rather it may have had an effect, because it may be that nobody liked this video particularly, but 4 people click the like button anyway. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to try a few more of these call to action type things. I don't particularly like doing them myself, I have to be honest with you, but I would like to see some of these like rates climbing up a bit. It really helps the exposure of the videos, getting likes on them. Yeah, likes and comments, all forms of engagement. YouTube really ranks it. So if I can get a little bit more conversion of views into people actually clicking the like button, especially early on when a video first comes out, if I can pick up a game off of Steam and get it up very quickly, like a new on Steam game, get it up very quickly, a bit like with Rake, and actually grab a good dozen or 2 likes on it very quickly, then even though the absolute view counts are going to be relatively poor compared to larger YouTubers, it should still get good search ranking as a result. So I mean, that's one of the things that is going to kind of go into this review. It's not going to be I say review like I'm going to be kind of creating a big report or something. It's not going to be anything like that, but I am going to sit down and I am going to basically go through all of the various different components of the channel, decide what's working, what isn't working, and maybe come up with a few ideas to shake things up and to keep things moving forward. Right, let's quickly look at the analytics, and we don't need to look at the real-time analytics. We'll just look at the last 7 days. Now these, obviously we've got red arrows here because the Rake surge is dropping away now. We still got 365 views from Rake this week, which isn't too bad, but obviously it's not the 2,000 odd we got in the previous couple of weeks. So so it's good, but it will be fading away. So we'll probably see these red arrows for a little while longer, unless we can get another Rake-like event going on the channel. It doesn't help that I released so few videos this week as well. But there you go. 5,470 minutes watched, down 50%. 1,287 views, down 47%. Estimated earnings pretty much flat at 67 pence, a whole 67 pence for a week's work. I say work, I mean, it's making videos. It's quite a lot of work, actually, to be fair. Subscribers, 113, that's down 15%. Comments, 38, down 60%. Quite a few less comments this week. Quite a few less likes, down 27% as well. So these numbers do worry me a little bit, although, again, I suppose, certainly with likes, Rake, and also to a certain extent the new video I did in Better Late Than Dead probably picked up some likes from out with the normal channel faithful, if that's a description. So I don't know, but this is something that that I pay a lot of attention to, is the number of likes and the number of comments and things like that videos get. So I will be keeping an eye on this, but again, it's difficult to judge when you only release. You can't compare a channel like a week where you only release 3 videos to one where you released 5 or 6 videos. I mean, it's not comparing like for like. So we'll just move on. In fact, I think that's pretty much done. We've got 15% female to 85% male. That's actually quite a big jump for female viewership in this week, at least compared to the last 28-day totals. Search results, 42%, channel, 28%, playlist, 6.9. Some interesting numbers, but we're not going to dwell on it because that, I think, will do. And that is going to be it for this week's Just Talk. Like I said, please bear with me over the course of the next week or so whilst we get everything sorted out and we get back onto some sort of even keel and a regular, dependable schedule. But until then, thanks a lot for watching. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later. Greetings and welcome back to Cities Skylines and the wonderful wizarding city of Wizardtopia. That's right, we're back in the joyous city, the city of greatness, the city of wonder, with many an abandoned farm by the looks of it, but we'll deal with that later. All of our demands are quite low. Holly Peters has something she wants to say. What do you want to say, Holly Peters? Way to go, Mayor. In my honest opinion, yellow cornfields are much better than dirty factories. We agree. We are in complete agreement. Nice wheels as well, look. Nice wheels you've got there, Holly Peters.